Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 5th episode of the 7th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So, we had a good first 4 episodes into the season. I feel like there's a lot of team building, a lot of bonding, a lot of characters spending time with other characters that we haven't really seen in a long time. And relationships are just being formed, and it's been really good, and I've enjoyed it. And I'm hoping in today's episode we can continue the good, start to the season that we've had with the first 4 with today's episode. But in the last one, Leonard was going through a few problems. Penny, in her, it seemed to be in her university or college class, she was reading a book from actually Leonard's mum. And he was kind of upset because all his personal life details are in there. It's kind of embarrassing, and he kind of started playing this card towards Penny, who started then feeling sorry for him. So every time that he done something, she kind of felt bad for him, and she was watching TV programs that he wanted to watch. She was giving him sex. Howard tried to do it to Bernadette, kind of guilt her around by basically saying that, his mum made him sad when he was getting brought up. She didn't care. She was having none of it. He ended up blurting out, spilling the beans. She then went and told Penny. Penny's found out. Got dressed up, looking like, she's ready to have sex with Leonard. As soon as he comes straight into the apartment, he sees her, he starts to get undressed, and she spins the laptop round, and his mum's there. Let's talk about your emotional needs. So, you know what I mean? It went from absolute elation to devastation for Leonard, back to his parents. So that was interesting and funny as well. I just think that all around general has been a good season so far. So hopefully we can keep up the good comedy. The more, to me anyway, it feels like the characters are just have the freedom to be a little more looser. So they say some improvised lines, or we can see them having, cracking up, laughing in the background of certain scenes when characters do stuff that's funny. And in the whole scheme of things, I just feel like the show's going really well so far. So long may it continue. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into the 5th episode of the 7th season of The Big Bang Theory.
Awkward silence, Sheldon on his phone, no touching, somebody's having date night.
Sheldon's looking up the phallic symbolism of root vegetables in Renaissance paintings.
How do you not tear off his clothes and take them right here on this table?
If you do that, I'll scream.
Sheldon, I have some exciting news to tell you.
But that makes 2 of us. My new cuticle scissors will be here in 1 to 2 business days.
I've been invited to consult on an experiment at your university for a few months. So you're okay with this?
Well, why wouldn't I be?
Well, this project would have us working in close proximity to one another, and there's the vulgar adage that one should not defecate where one eats.
But what does that have to do with you working at the university?
Means don't have a romantic relationship in the workplace.
I always took it literally. That's why I have never once moved my bowels in this or any restaurant.
I'm relieved that you don't have a problem with us working together.
Not as relieved as I'm about to be. It's a brave new world, little lady.
Imagine him going there. He usually only goes toilet when he has his bowel scheduled, doesn't he? But it's a saying as well, don't dip your pen in the company's ink. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't mess it up. There's a prime example of where I can think it's beneficial, though, is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Do you know what I mean? He was a wrestler. Her dad owned wrestling, WWE. Now look at him. He's pretty much the top dog. They've been together for years and married, so obviously it went well for them. But he's ascended. He was in the company as a worker, and now he's literally like the CEO or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he dipped his pen in the company ink, and he is laughing all the way to the bank. So, works sometimes, but in the majority, I would agree with Amy. Don't do it.
Are you crazy? You don't want your girlfriend at work with you.
Father's a gynecologist.
I know. What started as a pap smear turned into a date.
Would you please tell him this isn't a good idea?
No, I think it'll be great. Maybe next time he gets conjunctivitis at work, she can hold his head and try to put the drops in his eyes.
I'm just saying I'd never want to work with Bernadette. And can you imagine seeing someone all day long and then you're supposed to hang out with them after work, too?
But hold on. We do that all the time. You and I work together and play together.
Yeah, I know, and it drove me into the arms of another woman.
But I won't be seeing any more of Amy than I already do. I assume we'll deduct any extra time we spend together at work from our weekly quota.
So, Amy, what are you going to be working on at Caltech?
I'm leading a study to see if deficiency of the monoamine oxidase enzyme leads to paralyzing fear in monkeys.
Not a lot of people know this, but the monoamine oxidase enzyme was discovered by a woman, Mary Bernheim. That's right, my phone is just as smart as you guys.
Amy Bernadette Penny. Amy Bernadette Penny.
Never going to stop doing that, is he?
I don't mind. I'm hoping to put his love of repetition to good use someday.
I've reconsidered. You can't work where I work. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Sheldon, I don't understand. I thought you said you were fine with it.
I was, but that was before Howard explained to me how awful it would be if he had to work with his significant other.
Me, I need to have a chat with my husband.
Yeah, well, now, keep it short. From what I gather, brevity is your friend. So are we good here?
And you can't tell her what she can and cannot do.
Last week you told Leonard he couldn't wear his Wookiee jacket out in public.
That's different. I'm not going to the mall with someone dressed like a dumb space bear.
Before all things, I'm a scientist. I'm just there to do my work and, with a little luck, scare the living crap out of some monkeys.
You sure your moth-like personality won't be drawn to this blazing fire that is myself?
More and more sure.
Well,
About a minute.
You have my permission.
I meant was if we worked together, there'd be too much of me for you, not the other way around. Okay, fine. I did say that, and I think it's true. I think if we worked together and lived together, we'd get sick of each other.
Yeah, but to be fair, he only said the part about him getting sick of you.
For the love of God, why?
Thing is, though, why would he have to say both of them?
What
It's
exactly
just the insinuation.
do you think he'd get sick of?
His only options here are to fake a heart attack or have a real one.
My arm is feeling numb.
Nailed it.
Looking me in the eye and lying to me?
Come on, where am I supposed to look when I lie to you?
Find somewhere else to sleep tonight.
If it makes you feel any better, Amy and I are fine.
Is that an over-exaggeration from Bernadette or what? Personally, I think it is. I feel like the insinuation is just normal. Do you know what I mean? And it's not solely him saying, if I worked with Bernadette, I would be sick of her and she wouldn't be sick of me. It's just pretty much the insinuation of, he used the Raj example. He was like, hey, you know, we work together at work and we work together at home. He's like, yeah, why do you think that I had to seek out another companion? Do you know what I'm saying? It's basically just saying, look, too much time with somebody, yeah, does get overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be with your other half all the time consistently, you know, finish work with them for 8 hours before you go to bed. But imagine waking up, being with them, going to work, being with them, coming home, being with them. It's like you need a bit of space. You know what I mean? You would get sick of it. It's like, I use the analogy of your favourite food. It's your favourite food because you enjoy it. But if you had it every single day for every meal, it will soon rapidly become one of the foods that you can't be bothered with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. Everybody has a song that they're really vibing and into right now. They hear it on the radio, they're loving it. But yeah, you listen to it all the time, you're like, mate, I'm sick of it. Just get it off, get it something else on. And that's the thing. I don't think it's any personal attack on Bernadette. I just think it's in general. He used her name because Sheldon was talking about his other half working there. And he's basically saying, imagine spending basically 24 hours with the person. And he said, obviously, he would struggle with doing that. I don't know. I don't think he said anything bad to me. I feel like it's an actual logical observation, and most people would do the same. Too much time with people does start to grate on you.
So, boys, how was the pajama party?
Pajama party. It was just a couple of bros hanging out, giggling, eating cookie dough, and watching Princess Bride.
Please stop talking.
As you wish.
I mean, you know, Sheldon, none of this would have happened if I hadn't tried to help you.
It also wouldn't have happened if, in the early universe, hydrogen was a little more common or a little less common.
Amy.
Hello. Oh, we're fine. As Howard advised, she's merely respecting our professional boundaries. It appears I was worried for nothing. Look at her. Desperately wishing she was over here at the cool table.
Oh, on the off chance that Bernadette doesn't call back and apologize, how do you feel about Mexican food for dinner tonight?
I don't know, it sounds kind of heavy.
That's because you always fill up on chips.
This is Dr. Gunderson from Stockholm.
Ah, Sweden. Home of my favorite Muppet and second favorite meatball. Hey, the Nordic reputation for lack of humor is well-founded. Boy, is his name Gunderson or No Funderson? I'm in a boy-girl relationship with this cute little lump of wool. Ow! Okay, here's a new one. Apparently now we kick each other in the shin under the table. How you like it when I do it to you? Not so much, huh?
What has he actually gone over there for?
Image number 1, Frenchman on bicycle carrying baguettes. Let's kick things up a notch. Image number 3, crocodile with a mouthful of monkeys. What do you want, Sheldon?
Well, I'm done with work, so...
Sorry. Better?
Oh, baguettes. Yes, I like baguettes. Done with work, and Leonard's not. So good news, you get to take me home.
I can't leave now, Sheldon. I'm very busy. Besides, why would I want to do you a favor after the way you treated me in the cafeteria?
What on earth are you talking about? My behavior in the cafeteria was delightful. Yeah, maybe your friend Gunderson needs to head over to IKEA and assemble a sense of humor.
Image number 5, kitten in a teacup.
Oh.
I I don't have time for this. Find another way home. Image number 6, woman giving birth.
Oh,
It's 9 o'clock. Where you been?
oh, I had to take the bus home. Fell asleep and missed my stop. If you're hungry, I brought home some mutton and coconut milk.
Look at that, you hate lamb.
Yeah, I was asking for directions. Apparently there was a communication problem. Can you believe she said I embarrassed her?
Yeah.
But you didn't even hear the details.
I've known you a long time, and I'm going to tell you this with all the love I can possibly muster. Amy's right, you're wrong.
You're not listening to my side of it.
Okay, fine. Sheldon, what is your side?
Well,
Nope, gotta go with Amy on this one.
You want a Tums?
You got the tropical fruit kind?
No, if I buy those, I just go through them like candy.
It's gonna be Bernadette fuming that he's not come home.
It's just sometimes I feel like you enjoy spending time with your friends more than with me. When you said you wouldn't want to spend that much time with me, it really hurt my feelings.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that. I'm so sorry. Starting tomorrow, I am turning over a new leaf. Time with you is my #1 priority.
Why tomorrow?
Real close to finishing off the new Batman game.
You should probably go after her.
Should I go after you? No! Thanks for getting me in trouble.
But do you know what I was saying there before? You know, he basically, too much time with somebody would be too overwhelming, and being with them 24/7. You know, but he actually is roughly around. The thing is though, like, when he's with his friends at work, do they actually work together, or do they only see each other for the lunch hour and then they all go back their separate ways? You know, like Amy was saying that she was basically working in a separate building towards Sheldon, so they're not actually going to engage. Because if he is actually spending all the time with them, then, you know, it does counteract what I was saying before. Because he does spend all day with them, and then he comes out and spends all night with them, and he doesn't actually have a problem with his friends. So then I understand why Bernadette would actually take offence to it. You know what I mean? There's always context to each thing that you say, and, you know, once all the facts are kind of like unravelled onto the table, then you can make a decision. You make the observation when you first see it. At first, you know, he basically complained he spent too much time with Raj, and that was too much for him and overwhelming. That's why he had to find somebody else. So then, obviously, it backed up his kind of story at that time. And I thought, okay, it's a little bit of overreaction for Bernadette. But then if you look at it, what she's saying is, actually, you spend all day with them, then you come home and spend all day with them, and you never really have any problems with that. So why would it be with just me you'd have a problem with? And then I kind of get her side of it now. So it's offensive, you know what I mean? It's like, it just depends. Again, I guess it depends on what type of personality you are, but I can understand why she's sad, and I can't really call it an overreaction now because she's got a bit of justification towards it.
Amy, I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about what happened earlier between us. Do you want some mutton and coconut milk?
No.
This isn't easy to say. All relationships are difficult, even more so when you're in one with a person who struggles with everyday social interaction, being kind of a weirdo.
You're not a weirdo.
I wasn't speaking about me.
I knew that he was talking about her.
What's your point?
My point is, we're a couple, and I like you for who you are.
I like you too.
I don't see anyone else banging on this door to put up with your nonsense.
He comes and says a good thing, and then he says a bad thing.
You see, that's the kind of thing that makes people think you're weird.
Apologizing to Howard. He can come beg me on his knees.
Sheldon too. If I see him at work, I'm just going to ignore him.
All right, don't worry, I talked to Leonard. He is gonna sit the guys down and set them straight.
Hey, that would be pretty fun. To be fair, right, that there seems like something that every guy would love to do. You know what I mean? Like, that actually would be fun. I would love pinging that, popping all the balloons all around. I could do it for hours. That'd be something, mate. That'd be so good to do with your friends. Like, I actually think that's really good. Now, if you look at the context of it, you know, I first thought that Bernadette overreacted, but then, you know, let the episode fully play out, and I can kind of understand where she's coming from now. I actually do think that Howard spent a little bit too long at Raj's place. So, for example, even if Bernadette did overreact, it was ultimately a comment that Howard made that put her in that position. So the fact is that he was staying with, Raj for more than one night. I'm not going home and apologising. Then, you know, it kind of makes it look like it's Bernadette's fault. And I technically don't agree that it is Bernadette's fault. I do agree that she did go mad at him. But at the end of the day, if he didn't make a comment and Sheldon didn't actually tell her, because it always seems to be lets the cat out of the bag, then she wouldn't have been in that position. So after one day, she should have gone home. And it's the same old saying, do you know what I mean? We said it all the time on the channel, but when you're a kid and you do something wrong to somebody and your mum says, go and tell them sorry, even if you don't mean it, you just say sorry, you know what I mean, so that you can just get on with your day. And that's the same situation there. Should have gone home, said, look, Bernadette, I didn't mean to upset you, you know what I mean, like I was just talking to try and cheer Sheldon up, and obviously like give him some information about how to deal with Amy being in his workplace. And if you actually took what I said and it hurt you, that was never my intentions, and I do apologise, hope you can accept it. You know what I mean? Whether or not you actually mean that, get the apology out there and let her know that obviously you've been thinking about her. Do you know what I'm saying? And he didn't. He just sat around and he waited. And then when she said sorry, he was like, can I stay one more night and playing a game, and just kind of made it worse for himself again. So at the end of the day, I can see both sides of it. And I do think that he should just apologise anyway, even if he doesn't mean it, just so that he can get everything back on track and just moving forward. Because something so little, you don't want it ruining, like, don't want it ruining your day. Never, you know what I mean? Never mind like a week. It's just something minor. Sometimes as well, like when I have an argument with a girlfriend, I'm just like, literally, I'm not even arguing. Like, it's that minor that 10 minutes ago I was having a great day, and now the day is potentially ruined because we're having an argument over nothing. You know what I mean? Just put it aside. I'm sorry. Let's forget about it. Just move on. That's what he should have said, so he didn't have to prolong it. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So, you know, Sheldon was talking about basically Amy being the moth to the flame. Do you know what I mean? He's the flame and she's the moth. And when you looked at the episode, he was the moth going to the flame, which was her, which is interesting. It was like totally conflicted what he was saying. Like, but interesting there. I understand he made the encounter kind of awkward at the table with the people that she was sat with, but I actually don't feel like he said anything that bad. Like, did he not go over and just say hello and shake the guy's hand, and then he said his name, and he's like, oh, you're from Sweden, it's like my favourite place for this and my second favourite meatball? I honestly don't think that's bad at all. You know what I mean? Like, if I met somebody and I was like, hi, and he shook my hand and he was like, oh, you're from the UK, literally, I love the UK, guess what, fish and chips, banging, favourite meal. But I wouldn't think that was embarrassing. That's literally the same kind of context that he's just done. Like, when obviously he sat down, he did crack a joke by basically saying, and then when he sat down, he said a quick joke, which then did kind of make it awkward because he was talking about Sweden, wasn't he? But you know what I mean? I don't think he actually done anything that bad. But then when he sat down, he started talking about being in a relationship with Amy, and then she kicked him, and then he kicked her. That's when obviously it made her awkward. Now, I thought that when he went to the lab and he was speaking to her and he was acting the way that, you know, she was doing basically an experiment on the monkey and how it would react to different like things on the computer screen. And then Sheldon came in and he started doing the same actions and same mannerisms. I thought that she was going to try and do a trial on him. Do you remember the episode when he was trialing Penny and he kept doing something, giving her a treat, giving her a treat, giving her a treat? He was trying to sort something out in her brain, see if he could, you know, raise her to lower her voice and stuff like that, like subconsciously. Well, I thought Amy was going to try and play something similar out there, but you know, he's gone to her apartment, he's kind of like, well, he's kind of apologised, but then said a nice thing about saying, you know, being in a relationship with her, and he likes her for who she is and all the traits, and then he obviously said something that obviously made her slam the door shut. Classic Sheldon, hit someone with a compliment, then hit them with a backhander, does it all the time. He literally always says like, you know, what's it when like somebody, it's literally that he always gives somebody a compliment but like a backhanded compliment, so it's like a negative and a positive at the same time, and you don't really know how to take it. That's what he just done there with Amy. But at the end of the day, do you know what I mean, I feel like they are scenes where he expresses his progression in terms of like feelings in a relationship, but then he also kind of ruins them, and like it never leads anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So like there's been many a times where he shows that he's progressing as an adult, a person in a, you know, sustainable, proper loving relationship about his feelings, but then he always kind of ruins it with a next comment. And I would like it at one point, like you say, you know, he's talking about holding hands even on hot days, like when they can be kind of like a coupley like how you deem normal, like in terms of give a kiss here and there, you know, maybe sleep in the same bed. Do you remember that episode when he went and stayed over at her house and she was like, look, somebody can only ask you to get in the bed like so many times before the couch is viable. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't read it, and I hope that one day, and we did pull the trigger on Raj being able to talk to women, so hopefully soon it will be a full-on relationship with these two. But I do like the little compliments here and there and showing that he's coming a bit more vulnerable in his relationship. But then he doesn't need to follow it up with a backhanders. But that's just Sheldon how he is. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you need. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.